Rise and Shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
You're on Rise and Shine with Matt and Phil all across Australia. And joining us on the line is a world champion swimmer, a great man of God, Duncan Armstrong. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, thanks, Matt. Hello, Sal. How are you?
Good. Look, actually, Duncan, I'm having a bit of a moment because I was a bit of a swimmer growing up, and I remember doing squad and watching you at the Olympics, winning gold and silver, and now I'm chatting to you. It feels like a dream come true, Duncan.
Well, I was having a very good day that day too, Sal. So if you're having a good day in the squad, I was having a good day, everyone was having a good day. It's nice to talk to you.
I think your squad training might have been a bit more difficult than mine at the Balbarry swimming pool, but...
Now, for those who don't know about your, gold medal winning race and your world champion, world record holding, race and everything, you were coached by Laurie Lawrence. And I said to Phil, wait till you hear Duncan do his Laurie Lawrence impression about that race. Take it away, Duncan. Give us your best shot.
Oh, Laurie, no, I can't do that because it sends me straight back to the therapist, mate. I trained with Laurie for 9 years in the water, and he was the perfect coach for me. I've had 40 years of therapy because of that. And but Laurie really understood how to get the best out of me, and we see a little bit with Dean Boxall and his swimmers over there at St. Peter's Western and things like that. He's got many, many swimmers over there, Dino, and he's able to approach them, each individual swimmer, in a different way to get the most out of it. And for me, that's what Laurie did for me as well back in the 80s and the 90s. But Laurie was a very, very tough man. Like, he had about 70 kids in the squad. Wow. And he set it up as an advanced squad. So you started in lane 1, and then with hard work and advancement, you advanced to lane 2, and with hard work and advancement, you went to lane 3. And you're hoping to get into lane 5 eventually, because lane 5 in the Laurie Lawrence swim team was the green and gold lane. And you couldn't get into lane 5 and train unless you had the green and gold for Australia on your back. And so Laurie was very, very good at always keeping our vision up, always, moving us towards the World Championships, Commonwealth Games, and the Olympic Games, and especially that green and gold tracksuit that we're seeing at the moment. There's so much pride in that tracksuit. And what I love about the Olympic team, even the one that we've got going on at the moment, there's 21 young swimmers wearing that green and gold for the first time. And so it's this real factory of dreams, real factory of hard work, endeavour. And if you work hard enough and you learn your lessons and you're willing to suffer and you're willing to put your body through it, then at the end of that, maybe a green and gold tracksuit with those Olympic rings on it.
Very cool, mate. Well, we love hearing your success story. The other success story you have is that you came to faith, and you've been able to share your testimony all around the world for many years now. Give us a snapshot of your conversion experience, mate.
Yeah, I got to about 37, Matty, and I was becoming pathetic. I was, stuck in the world of consumerism, stuck in this competitive porridge that I had to compete with everybody, and all that early success in the swimming pool sort of led me to think that, to be successful in life, you had to compete with everybody and get in front and be a winner and be a gold medalist in everything you do. And so, I was living the high life, getting the VIPs, being in the magazines, being on television with a television career, and I could just feel it. Everything just didn't add up. It wasn't adding up, and I had this very, very deep missing thing inside, and I just didn't know what I was missing until someone took me to church, and after I mocked it for about months and months and months, I had this very, very strong conversion event standing in the pews on the right hand side. I felt the presence of God, and that really sort of healed me like a banana in terms of all the things that I thought was important, all those things that I thought made up a life. It just became just ruined my life, and ruined my consumerism and ruined everything. And so that started a search for something much deeper, and that search, of course, took me to Jesus Christ, and Jesus was so graceful in saving me, and it was so gracious in what he gave me and what he gives me every single day, the daily bread. So I was very, very lucky at the age of 37 that I could stop being pathetic and start digging for something a little bit more deeper in my life, and that's where my faith began to grow. And I'm still very, very grateful for that moment that Jesus was waiting for me to get me to knock off my rubbish and and go after something a little bit more quality than just things.
We've just heard Duncan sharing a little bit of his testimony about how, he won the gold medals, the world records, was doing well, but then kind of hit rock bottom, ended up going to church, giving his heart to the Lord. His life was transformed. And we're going to continue that conversation right now.
Yeah, look, Duncan, I'm wondering, you're getting saved, you're excited for God. What happens next?
Well, Sal, I turned into a wet noodle as soon as I came to Jesus. I didn't understand what strength he provided and what strength he is asking us to show in this fallen world. So I became super nice to everybody, and I thought that's what I think I had to do. And it took time, and it took effort, and it's not an easy thing to be a Christian in this day and age, and it's not an easy thing to live by your faith and be gracious to every situation that the world throws at you. So it's taken a lot of time to get my armour on, get battle ready, and get out there and help people sort of in their journeys as much as I possibly can, but also understand my journey and what strength God gives me and his plan in my life, which is always a tricky thing to always work out. So, again, I had to learn the prayer life. I had to learn intercession. I had to learn his grace and the relationship he wants with me to be able to be effective. So it's been a while. It's almost 20 years now, and I've been introduced to so many great causes and so many great people of faith, especially men of faith. And so the greatest thing it's given me is a heart for men and a heart to influence blokes and get out there and bring them along their journey in terms of their relationship with Jesus Christ and what they can do through him and for him. So that's been the biggest thing for me, Sal, that it's really woken me up to what men are going through and what my part in it is helping them along their path.
And Duncan, I know, we've had you speak at men's groups and at our charity, and, you often speak at different events, sharing your story. You're a motivational speaker. You're inspirational whenever you share. You're very funny. You're very gifted. But the other thing, mate, is you were on the telly recently because you had a bit of a health scare recently, and you're on this program with Tracy Grimshaw on Channel 9. I remember watching it and thinking, that's my mate Duncan. Tell us about what was that experience like?
Oh, well, a few years ago I had a heart attack. I didn't even know I was ill. I was building up a very toxic blend of plaque and calcium in my major vessels around my heart, and I didn't know. It's down from my mother's history side. My mum had a good quadruple bypass at 65, and she's still going strong at 89. Good on her. And but I thought I was more like my dad, so I wasn't really watching my mum, and I wasn't really testing for my calcium score like you can do at any radiologist for $40, and it takes 20 minutes. So I just wasn't doing the right kind of testing, and then had a heart attack, like a full Hollywood heart attack, almost got me. But I got myself to the hospital, which was a bit stupid. I should have called an ambulance. But I got there and they gave me a triple bypass, and I've been recovering ever since. And I feel fantastic now. So when Channel 9 rang and said, hey, we want to do a health show, I really looked at that as, this is my opportunity to influence blokes my age in their 50s who should be going and getting a calcium score and having a look at an MRI angiogram, which takes only about half an hour and doesn't cost a lot of money, to get your testing done. Get your early testing done on your heart so it doesn't have to take you away from your family in your 50s or your 60s. So that's why I went on the show. Plus, I got to do this show with my son, Tom, who's 33, got all his testing done, and he really wants to influence young men in their 30s to make sure they're in tip-top shape with their diet and exercise and especially their sleep.
Oh, that is actually really inspiring, Duncan. Thank you so much for sharing. If you're someone's out there this morning, hopefully they've been inspired as well. If we've got any young swimmers who are watching the Olympics, my kids have been up every night watching all of the action in the pool, and they say, one day I want to be like a Duncan Armstrong. What would you say to them?
Well, I'd say find a really good coach, find a swimming pool and get wet. Just get in the water and do your laps, because there's no way that you can get to something that you're seeing on Channel 9 at the moment and wearing the green and gold unless you're willing to do the work. It's a hard-working sport, but it's a wonderful sport. The water is such a wonderful element. It's good for your joints. It's good for your muscles. There's not a lot of injuries in swimming long term. So you can really enjoy yourself. Plus, it's not a contact sport. There's boys, there's girls. Anybody can be a swimmer. Most schools have a swimming pool. We're sick for swimming in Australia, so it's awesome. So find yourself a coach, find yourself a squad that you can fit into, and do the laps. That's
fantastic.
All I can say.
And, mate, if people did want to book you to come and speak at an event, how do they get in contact with you?
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn, and you can also find my website and my business called Peak Impact Consulting Services. We're a communication consultancy, and we do all types of things from media to stage work to motivation, inspiration, as well as church and other faithful things. So you can find me at peakimpact.com.au.
Well, you're a legend, mate. It's so good to catch up with you, buddy. Thanks for inspiring us once again. God bless you, Duncan Armstrong.
Thanks, Al. Thanks, Matty. Appreciate it.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.